It is with a very warm heart that we welcome you to today's episode of Tax Matters. My name is Alh.K.M Mashi. How's the week going and how's business going? Last episode, we brought you an interview, a special interview with the acting executive chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service in the person of Alh.K.M Mashi. Alh.K.M Mashi was looking at the performance of the FRS in the year 2013. Because of time constraints, we couldn't conclude the interview, and we did promise that we'll bring it to you today. We intend to keep that promise. But before then, we want to bring you something on legislating for taxes in Nigeria, the role of the National Assembly, the journey so far. And our guide will be one man who, along with some other eminent colleagues of his at the FRS, were in the thick of things. They were part of that liaison with the National Assembly. We are talking about Mr. Moses Ibiloye, who currently is the tax controller of the Apapa Micro and Small Tax Office of the FRS. Mr. Ibiloye, welcome to Tax Matters.
Thank you, Mr. Tax Matters.
Yes, sir. We will come to your work in Apapa presently, but we do know that before you came onto that seat, you, along with other colleagues of yours in the FRS, worked with the National Assembly on reviewing the tax laws. And that went on for quite some time. Please kindly share with us your experience on that bit.
Precisely in July 2005, I was appointed as a chairman for a committee. The name of the committee is a Liaison Committee to handle the relationship between the National Assembly and the Federal Inland Revenue Service in respect of 9 tax bills that have been approved by the Federal Executive Council. The names of the bills are Federal Inland Revenue Service Establishment Act, then the Companies Income Tax Amendment Bill also to Value Added Tax Act, Amendment Bill to Petroleum Profit Tax Act, amendments to National Automotive Council Act, Sugar Development Levy Act, the Customs and Excise also included. Education Tax also Act was included, but was later withdrawn. So it's now remain 8 bills. In December 7 to 9, there was a public hearing in 2005, public hearing where the stakeholders were invited to the National Assembly to make their contribution on each of these 8 bills. And at the end of the public hearing, there were a series of meetings to harmonize the decision or the input from the stakeholders. The Finance Committee of the House of Representatives and the Finance Committee of the Senate are the 2 major committees from the National Assembly which we work with at that time. And at the end of the day, April 16, 2007, 4 of the bills were passed into law. Though the entire 8 were passed by the House, it was only those 4 that were passed by the Senate, and by the legislative, going by the legislative procedure, it's only the bills that are passed by the 2 chambers that can get the assent of the president. So the remaining 4 were left behind. There are 2 of them that are major, while the remaining 2 are not other major. Those ones that are not major bills are the amendment to Sugar Development Levy, which is just 1 paragraph or 1 line amendment bill. The other one is the Custom and Excise Amendment Bill. It's also just 1 line amendment bill. So those ones were also represented. The Personal Income Tax Act was represented, and it has been finalized and approved. It has been published in 2011.
Yes, yes.
But for the Petroleum Profit Tax Act, it was not represented to the National Assembly during this regime, because at that time the Federal Executive Council was of the opinion that since the petroleum industry bill is already on board,
the famous PIB,
the petroleum industry bill is already on board, and Petroleum Profit Tax Act, the entire act will form a chapter in that bill. Therefore, they are now looking at it. It will amount to just duplication of effort. So, effectively, it was the Personal Income Tax Act that we can actually say that was a major bill that was outstanding, and it has been passed in 2011.
Chineke me, they don't increase my salary money. No be mistake. Oga accountant do so. Papa Junior, you never hear of Peter. Now the new MD be that. Talk now.
Peter, na Personal Income Tax Amendment Act, wey Mr. President just signed for law to better the life of him people, so them to go get more money to enjoy with them family. You see this amended act, they don't reduce the tax we do on top your salary money. They can't increase consolidated allowance money where we go to get every month. And you know, say, now the president will listen if you do better thing for the people.
Ah, Mr. President, you do well, oh. I be like say you dey think of me when you dey sign this bitter. Now I feel do boku things this year. I feel rent shop for Mama Junior, buy textbook for Junior, send money go village, make the thing begin build my house.
So you say I'm the landlord?
Of course. Oh, you think so I can't breathe for you? Peter, oh, Peter, hey, Peter.
JTB, creating a tax-friendly environment.
But then, aside from those 9 bills that became 8 and that you have now told us, for all intents and purposes, have been dealt with, you were also, in the course of that, your liaison committee's work, you were also trying to tinker with the Value-Added Tax Act, which had just been amended. What was the problem? What did the executive want?
At the point of presentation, we were looking at increasing the value-added tax rate from 5%, which it has been since 1993, to 10%.
Why?
Going by what obtains in other jurisdictions in West Africa and in other environments, you will discover that Nigeria operates with the lowest or the least rate of value-added tax. And while we are trying to increase the rate to 10%, there's also intention to reduce the company income tax rate from its present 30% to about 20%.
Okay.
You understand? And the other bills that I'm talking about is more of a multiple taxations. The sugar development levy, the customs that also collects that sugar development levy. The amendment there is to remove them. Yes, to remove them entirely.
Automotive levy,
yes,
sugar levy.
Yes.
You were going to
remove them. Yes,
so no different taxes.
Yes,
for police,
yes.
For soldier, for army.
So at the end of the day, since we have reduced all these other small taxes here and there, and the company income tax, which is also a major source of revenue for the federal government also, the tax rate also have brought down. Then, so we now increase the value-added tax to 10%. That was the intention. In fairness to the National Assembly, the position was that it will be too drastic if you move from 5% to 10%. Why not make it gradual? Why not make it gradual? Maybe first of all increase to maybe 7%, later on 8%, then 10%. The intention of the executive is to reduce the company income tax, but at the same time to increase the value-added tax. But somewhere along the line,
it was going to be a shift in emphasis from direct taxes to indirect taxes. But didn't you put that across to the public well enough?
Maybe it was not well done.
Because you have done it so well now. Yes. Bring down company's income tax rate from 30% to 20%, scrap all those special taxes and levies, and increase the rate of VAT. Yes, I mean, if you put it like that to the public, maybe it will have flown.
There in the bill, actually, it was there in the bill. It was discussed during the public hearing, but well, the decision of the public is what the federal government will.
You know, you have given us insight. We will have asked you if you thought the National Assembly was keen enough, serious enough. But from what you have told us now, we can reasonably conclude that the National Assembly indeed tried its best and that the work was done.
Actually, during those periods, the work lasted for about 5 years. You see, in fairness to the legislators, they are very keen in assisting this country. That's where I can assist them, because each time that we need to have the meeting with them, they don't take their own personal interest before that of a national interest. I can remember there was a time, I think it was during the Ramadan festival, fasting, so we then need to do some review, and the then chairman of the finance committee, then Honorable Idris Huma, now Senator Idris Huma, the current Honorable Minister of Transport. He was the chairman at the finance committee in the House at that time. You see, he has to come out even during such a difficult time to be with us, doing the review with us. I remember there was a specific time, he just quickly go and have a prayer, come back and sit down with us and others.
So lastly on that matter, we were told when the Dr. Phillips study group was set up in 2002 that a review of tax laws is customary every 10 years. That in actual fact, that Dr. Phillips committee was a follow-up to that of 1992, led by late Alh.K.M Mashi, which led to the introduction of VAT in 1993. Now this is 2014. Any review in the offing?
Yes, I will say yes. Particularly in line with that, the recommendation of Professor Dr. Phillips' team. In 2012, there were some tax legislation that I happen to be a member of the committee from my Lagos office. I have to go to Abuja. We look at so many portion of the tax law with the mind of putting them across to the Ministry of Finance, and from Ministry of Finance to the executive for approval, and then to the National Assembly. And there have been a series of various segments of the tax law that have been put together like that. And I would say categorically that yes, the review is going on. Like 2012 also, you will see that there was an amendment that was made to the Company Income Tax Act relating to if an organization will employ employ new people, and 60% of that workforce will be those who have not done any job, has not gotten any job before. Such an organization will benefit from about 30% off. Yes, as a relief in their company income tax. Then there's another one also. This is referred to as a work experience acquisition program relief. It's also another amendment. If a company will employ those who have never engaged in any work and they will stay in that job for 2 years, you see, there's also a relief. Another relief amendment has to do with if an organization will put up infrastructure that will be for the public benefit, like roads, electricity, and other. These are new amendments to company income tax. It was signed into law in 2012. You understand? To let you know that there are a series of amendments. What the Professor Dr. Phillips has done is a comprehensive work. It's a very comprehensive work. As at now, we don't need another study group.
We move on to the concluding part of our interview with Alh.K.M Mashi. He will be looking at 2014, what 2014 has in store for the FRS, or what the FRS has in store for all of us in 2014. He begins with some messages.
My message, first of all, to taxpayers. When you pay money, ensure that the money reaches the right place, our office, and you get evidence of payment. And then the banks, I urge the banks in the spirit of partnership to improve on what they are doing, to treat the customers and inland revenue fairly, because any money not remitted is denying the taxpayer and the government. Because we're in partnership, and there should be understanding and trust. The country belongs to all of us. You're in the bank, I'm in inland revenue. But at the end, whatever is generated comes back to the people. It is that money that the states and local governments, federal government use to provide services to the populace.
Okay. Another important segment of the matrix are your staff scattered all over the country, and they are watching you right now. What's your message to members of staff of the FIRS?
Well, thank you very much for this question. First of all, we have been trying to improve on the welfare of the staff and the working environment. Last year, I think we were able to move from rented offices to our own buildings, integrated tax offices. Onitsha is our office now. Lokoja is our office now. Jalingo is our office now. Nasarawa is our office. Katsina is our office. Gusau is our office. And now we are constructing Port Harcourt now. I think they moved to our office in December. We're equally constructing similar offices in Dutse, Gombe, Damaturu, Benin-Kebbi, Oshobo, Uyo. We have land in Bayelsa, and our plan is to start the construction of that in that place. Yanagua. Something in Bauchi, Kaduna, Enugu. If you go to our Broad Street office, you will see the massive improvement we are doing in that building. Go to Awolowo
Road in Ikoyi, in Lagos.
Go there and see how it has been transformed. Here in Abuja, you see how we have renovated that building opposite us, and the other one. Durumi is a training school which we have tried to finish, and our intention is to start training our staff from this month, 24 hours basis. Anytime you go there, there's going to be an activity. We have provided relatively good furnishing to our staff, computers, generators, air conditioners, for the environment to be conducive for them to perform. Our staff now, anybody is looking corporate. You have been interacting with them. Then the welfare aspect, we make sure that by 24th, 25th, staff get their salary. I stand to be challenged by the staff if what I'm saying is not correct. The training, the staff are being exposed extensively for training because we have to continue training the staff, updating their knowledge for the Herculean task of to getting money from taxpayers. So we are training and retraining the staff. And I'm assuring the staff that more will come this year, inshallah. I urge them to redouble their effort because we have been given a mandate by the government. We are getting cost of collection on non-oil. It is with that cost of collection that we can do all these things. So the more we collect, the more we get as cost of collection. So there is incentive for the staff to work hard and harder so that in the end we deliver the mandate given to us by the government and the people of Nigeria. You know, taxpayers are regarded as kings in Illa revenue. You are a king because you pay my salary. From the little you are paying to the government, I get something to pay the staff salary. So we are partners in progress. I urge the taxpayers to please pay their taxes as and when due. If they receive any treatment that is not expected, they can complain and we'll look at it. But I'm sure with the type of staff, with the type of incentive and so on, if you take survey, our attitude has drastically changed towards taxpayers. Before, taxpayers don't want to go to tax offices because of the hostilities. But now, we have been going out, educating, talking to taxpayers, trying to partner. Said taxpayers are kings. And I think with all this in the taxpayer education, we have a department purposely for collaborating with taxpayers, educating taxpayers, giving necessary support. For instance, this is a calendar, year plan, which we printed and given to taxpayers. Any taxpayer coming to our office can go with this, and it tells you briefly what and what. So I urge the taxpayers to please continue working with us for the progress of this great nation, Nigeria.
Finally, sir, without pinning you down to figures, do you honestly believe that in 2014 you do better than 2013?
Inshallah, all things being equal. Because what we are doing, the automation, the staff welfare, the trainings, we will do better than last year, God willing.
On that note, we want to say thank you very much for letting us into your office despite your busy schedule. We hope that when next we call on you, you will oblige us and come on to the program. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Tax Matters.
Every day, my people they for work. Some they do office work. Some get it them own business. So all of them want good road. Constant power for better life, oh. Whether na office work, oh yeah. Pay your tax. Whether na your own business, oh. Pay your tax. If you want a better life, oh. Pay your tax. Now your civic responsibility. Pay your tax. Better soup, now money cook am, oh yes. Nothing goes for nothing, my brother. If you want potable water, security and hospital for make life jolly.
That's right. Good roads, good hospitals, portable water, adequate security all come from taxpayers' money. Play your part in making Nigeria great. Everybody, small scale, big companies, entrepreneurs, do the right thing. Pay your tax. This message is from the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS.
There you are. The FIRS is there to serve you better. Remember that it pays to pay your tax. Nigeria now we own. Let's build Nigeria together. We thank you most sincerely for spending time with us today, and we wish you a blessed week ahead.